A quick word about 1 Corinthians 7:15 through 16. 1 Corinthians 7:15 through 16 says, "But if the unbeliever leaves, let it be so. The brother or sister is not bound in such circumstances. God has called us to live in peace. How do you know, wife, whether you will save your husband? Or how do you know, husband, whether you save your wife?" These verses are weaponized quite a bit by narcissists who like to spiritually abuse their Christ-loving spouses into not setting boundaries with their narcissistic behavior. They say things like, "I'm a believer, therefore you have no right to separate from me or divorce me." Nothing makes me angrier than spiritual abuse. God's word is holy and it's to be treated like it's holy. The Bible is God's gift to us to help us understand God's amazing plan of redemption, his deep love for us, and how we can love each other. Here are some things to think about regarding 1 Corinthians 7:15 through 16. First, don't get stuck obsessing over whether your abusing spouse is a believer or not a believer, or may even become a believer. That is between that person and God. Second, if a spouse who is called to love you is habitually treating you with disrespect or disregard, that person is not behaving like he is a believer, nor is he behaving as God instructs. Even though we are not called to judge whether someone is a believer, we are biblically instructed to pay attention to people's behaviors, or what the Bible calls fruit, and interact with them accordingly. Luke 6:44 through 45 says, "Each tree is recognized by its own fruit. People do not pick figs from thorn bushes or grapes from briars. A good man brings good things out of the good stored up in his heart, and an evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored up in his heart. For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of." If someone is habitually behaving abusively and narcissistically, we employ the strategy scriptures that talk about how to deal with someone who is sinning, like Matthew 18:15 through 17 or Titus 3:10, which instruct employing the redemptive tool of separation so that the sinning person wants to surrender their sinful ways to God and start behaving like a believer instead of behaving like an unbeliever. If someone is habitually behaving like an unbeliever, in that he is continuing to abuse or neglect a spouse, yet he says he wants to remain in the marriage, we need to look at his behaviors and not his words. He is behaving as if he wants separation, so that's what we need to give him.